Hey guys, my name's Carl. I'm at Camperland of Ipswich. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about a Spyderco sharpener. A lot of people have trouble when it comes to sharpening knives. The biggest problem they have is trying to keep the angle consistent. If that's your stone, you can imagine doing it one way. What happens most people when they try and bring it back the other way is when they muck it up. With this device, if you can keep the blade straight up and down, it sets the angle for you automatically. The set has two sets of stones. These are the grey ones, two brass safety rods and the lid. And all you have to do is keep the blade straight up and down, starting at the back, the heel of the blade, and just move it through. Now, when you first start with a knife, because you might have to regrind the profile, or where the two edges meet, it's best to use a pen to find out whether or not the knife is sharp. A reasonably sharp knife will catch on a pen. If it's blunt, I'll use the back of this demonstration, it'll slide off. You can use your thumbnail, I don't. So what will happen is, you take your Spyderco sharpener, now you notice that I've got a free movement there with my elbow, and I'm just going to take that straight up and down, and I'll continue until that'll catch on the pen. Now we already know that this one will. It might take a little while the first time you do it with a knife, but you don't have to do that every time. When you've got the knife to the stage where it's catching on the pen, you then take these two grey stones and turn them onto their flats. You notice that they're triangular. Put them onto the flats, and then you give the knife 20 strokes either side, just like that. When you've done the 20 strokes on that, you take the grey stones out, white ones in on their corners, 20 strokes either side. The final polish is 20 strokes either side on the flats. If you've got a reasonable quality knife, this is a frost clipper, about $30 Australian at the moment, and you haven't skimped on that first bit. It's very important that you don't skimp on that first bit using the corners of the grey stones. You should get this poke in the right position. Be able to take a fillet out of a piece of photocopy paper. Now, the brass rods, as I said, catch the blade and stop it from running down into your hand if you slip. Now, even though this isn't dental, we know you want more. There are two sets of angles on this. So this blade, I've cheated a little bit, I've used a narrow angle. Using a narrow angle makes the edge very, very fine, it cuts very well, but it's not as strong for general use. So if you're cutting into bones on the chopping board and things like that, it's a little bit delicate. The 40-degree angle, the other angle that's here, is a stronger edge. So in reality, I use this angle for filleting knives, skinning knives, paring knife in the kitchen, and this one I use for machetes, axes, the kitchen cleaver. The way the system is actually supposed to be used is to use this one first to give it a narrow shoulder so that it cuts well, and then you use the 40 degrees so that it makes that edge a little bit tougher. Most of my general day-to-day knives get done that way, 30 degrees first, then 40 degrees. Both process on both sets of knives. You can also use the stone that way as a conventional bench stone if you had a wide blade like a hand plane or a cutthroat razor, just like you would a traditional stone. Obviously that doesn't set the angle for you though. Or you can flip it over and use it that way for broadheads, chisels, woodworking tools. You'll notice that on the stones there is a groove running down one side, not each face but just the one face. While it's in there, if this were a dart or a gaff or a hook or a needle or something that you needed with a point on, then you can rotate that backwards and forwards up and down the groove, and that'll bring your sharp point back up. The final part of the step here is that has, again, a set angle, scissors. So you lay your scissor blade flat on with the cutting edge upwards and just bring it down, and you can go through that entire process, as we said, the corners first, then the flats. So freehand, you can then use these stones, ceramic stones, for router blades, paddle blades, reshaping screwdrivers. What I haven't worked out how to sharpen with them yet is a high-speed twist bits, chainsaw blades, or a Farrier's frog knife, the one with a little hook on the bottom of it. The stones are ceramic. They're very, very hard. They don't bounce. If you drop it on a hard surface, it's going to shatter. We normally carry replacement stones here at work. They cost about $25 each. When they get dirty, and these are a little bit grubby now, Ajax and a nylon scouring pad will clean it up. Then you can use it again dry. You'll notice that when we were doing this, we weren't using any lubricants of any kind. The stones were being used dry. If you have a knife that has serrations on it, and this is a Spyderco knife, same brand as the maker, put our safety guards back in. I did see a video similar to this where somebody was using without safety guards, guys, and that scares me. You'll notice that the serrated blade is only ground on one side, so this is flat here and it's actually ground in on the left hand side of the cutting edge. I use my thumb as a stopgap, and I run each individual serration up and down. I'm not going to do too much because this is a new knife. I move along to the next one, the next one, the next one, and you'll feel a little tiny wire edge, a little tiny burr as you run your fingers on the back of the blade. I lay the blade almost flat then to take that wire edge off, and that's how you sharpen a serrated blade. There we go. That's a Cruxford. About $140 we sell these for. Is our recommended retail. Thanks for your time. I'm Carl.